Oops. Let's see if this time I can get this to work properly. Hello. Sorry about that. That was a pain in the ass. I honestly don't know if the other stream is still going. Like, honestly. Crazy. It's literally still going. That's so annoying. Diallo flight tomorrow. Yeah, the other stream is actually still going, and I have no idea how to stop it. I don't know. Don't know how to fix that. To like ask YouTube to fucking actually stop a video because I cannot do anything about it. Yeah, what a bum. What a bum. All right. Well, let's keep going. I don't have everybody back yet, but obviously I want to keep this thing moving at the moment. So what was I talking about? I was talking about Caicedo. I was talking about how we wanted to get a deal for him done, but right now it's January 7th. It's taking. I have to archive the other stream. All right, let me just do that real quick because I really want this other one to end because it's people are still sitting in there doing it. So, so annoying. Let me just do that while I'm sitting here real quick, guys. Sorry. I was talking about Caicedo. I was going to do the Manscaped demo. Yeah. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. How to see, like, I can't even do anything on it. So annoying. Literally cannot do anything. All right, hold on. Cancel. More actions. Honestly, I'm going to have to delete it. Yep. Pain in the butt. Cool. Super fun. All right. Anyway, so everybody who was here got to watch the first part of it. That's good for you because it's gone now. And I'll have to make a new video next week that goes over the same things. All right, so Caicedo, the personal terms, the overall fee agreement, none of that should be an issue, but it takes about a week, as we've seen, even with everything that was done to get Diallo in, and it could take even longer to work out things like work permits for someone like Caicedo under the new rules and all of that. But there's other teams involved too, and I think that we're trying to essentially pay attention to our budget, what's available, what could happen. Is Caicedo going to be someone that improves us right now? Is Caicedo going to be someone that, helps us on our current run for, the push? Or should we, resolve our budget for the summer? Do we need Caicedo? If a deal like Declan Rice becomes available in summer, do we need that? So maybe not. So I think that there's just decisions that haven't been made on it. Squad spots, all of that. But, do you need Caicedo, Declan Rice, Fred, McTominay, Matic in the future? Do you need all of those players come next summer? I don't know that you do. There may just be too much there. So we'll see what actually happens with that. All right, I'm going to get to questions now because that was my intention, was to answer a lot of questions. There are questions in the Discord. There's questions on Twitter. There's questions from our Patreons as well. Let me look what we have here. Is it possible the reason we aren't moving for Caicedo is due to us wanting to see if a Bentancur Pogba swap is possible this window, allowing us to have Bentancur, Rice, and McTominay as an option starting next season? I mean, it could be. It could be that we want other people. It could be that we want it could be that we want, what the hell? Come on, thing. Yeah, it could be that we want to get somebody else coming in, and yeah, we might want to remain flexible. So that is a good question. I think it is possible. We'll see if there's anything for Pogba and Bentancur in January, though I don't think that deal is ideal for us. With all the rumors and interest, is there a chance that we'd actually want both Grealish and Sancho? I think we've moved past both to an either-or situation. Do we expect to replace Igalo in the squad even with short-term cover till summer? No, that's Diallo. Are we any chance interested in any Malaga players? No. Can I get some artwork for my office? No, I cannot. Although that is a good idea. I have artwork. It's just on that wall over there. Scary things. Shout out the hackers. All right. Let's go to further questions. Lots more questions to be answered. I have like a ton of questions here. Like, they're probably a lot of them are repetitive. Is it likely we see more players come in January after Ahmad and hopefully Caicedo? I don't think it's likely. I actually don't know that we'll get anybody else. Who's the club's first choice center back to purchase? There was Upamecano previously for Ollie, but I don't know anymore. I don't know that we rate him that much, and I think there's a lot of people involved. It could be Pau Torres. It could be moving. We talked about Caicedo. Does the news from G5 about Grealish and Rice affect Sancho since we'll spend a lot on both players? Yeah. If we were to get Rice and if we were to get Grealish, I think that Sancho would be off the board. It just doesn't make sense to sign all those players together. So, yeah, I don't think that that's realistic. Rice is probably not happening in January, okay, to be clear. Like, I really don't think that's a deal we can get done in January, but for summer, I think it's possible. What players will come in the summer, according to your personal opinion? Assuming Pogba leaves and we only get Caicedo in January. That's a good question. I would say at the moment, my guess, it's way too early to tell optimistically, but I would say Declan Rice, Jadon Sancho, and I don't know. That's it. Those are the two that I think are most likely as it stands. So that's what I'm going to think at the moment. Rice in January is not really possible, in my opinion, because there's no reason West Ham want to sell him right now. So I just don't think that that's realistic at the moment. And it's very hard to get players in January, especially ones who are important to teams. Could the board like both Sancho and Grealish? See, Sancho versus Grealish is probably going to be our Grealish versus Van de Beek of the last summer. And yeah, the board will have to decide between the two. I think it's more on what becomes available price-wise, all of that, and then asking, all of the scouts, analysts, what they decide, and the transfer council making a decision. New contract for Puigmal. I don't think that we're giving him one. I probably mispronounced that off the bat, but I don't think we're giving him one. Probability of Sancho, Grealish, Upamecano, Aarons, Rice, Caicedo. I think I've mentioned it many times on that so far about what we would think about those. Is it possible we sign Grealish, Sancho, and Rice over 2 windows? Probably, again, just 2 of the 3, not all 3 of them. How safe is Ollie's job? I think it's quite safe at the moment. I think we're probably already talking about a renewal, but it'll be till till summer before they make a final judgment on that and a final decision. What is the most likely January signing after Caicedo? If it happens, I would say it's a center back. It could be Pau Torres, but I really do not know. What are ITK saying about Jack Grealish? Does a backup G5's claim that a deal is being worked on? Yeah, for the most part, it's still someone that Ole really likes. I just don't know how realistic it is. Right back alternatives for Max Aarons, not many at the moment. Additions or changes to the first team coaching staff. Actually, I do expect there might be one more. I won't say anything more about this, but I actually think there will be one more change in the coaching staff. It could relate to Mike Phelan, not necessarily him leaving, but just moving to a bit of a different role. But that's all I'll say about that. Any truth to the Facundo Medina links? I don't know. I haven't really heard anything about that. Yeah, round up on the ready-made top-tier center-back targets would be good. It's a very short list. Ramos, Alaba is one we really like. That's not really possible anymore because he's going somewhere else, it really looks like. So, Ramos would be hard to find, but we'd love to have him. And then Upamecano, Pau Torres, but that's all I can think of, honestly. I haven't heard of any other top tier names, basically. Would Pau Torres be attainable in January? He has a release clause, doesn't he? So I think that does make him attainable. But I do think he would be attainable in January. I think it would be a bit tricky. Grealish possible for January? I think no. Updates on Ronaldo situation? I think it'd be up to whether he want to come back. And how committed, if you would really be interested in that for us to move any more forward on the deal. I don't think we'll know anything on that till summer, but I think we'd be open to it. Sure, why not? Likelihood of Grealish signing, I would still say pretty low at the moment. Sancho, I still think Sancho is probably more realistic than Jack Grealish just because he fits better. Do I think Sancho is going to happen in summer? I do. I think it is going to happen in summer. I still think he's the most likely big signing for the year. How long before we see Ahmad get minutes with the first team? Let's let him get into training. I think he's certainly more ready-made than Pellistri and more intended for the first team. Aware of Ole's plans for youngsters on loan such as Garner and Chung. Chung, I feel, is somebody we'll loan again and then potentially sell. Garner, I think he's going to need another loan too. How are our outs in January? There's progress being made on Rojo and Jones and Lingard and Romero. So yeah, I think there's progress on all of them, but some of it's down to the players if they're going to accept wage cuts, and all of that. Yeah, I know what Uber said there about that G5 mentioned back in December that we were talking about a potential swap for Jesse Lingard plus cash for Rice. We're working on that. I think we discussed that in the first part of this video as well. That with the news that West Ham are interested in Lingard, that could be a good idea. It could be potential. If you think about Diallo, like even if he's good, why does Sancho make sense? It makes sense because you want to have 2 players for every forward position. It's just what you want. We should be able to rotate a lot. We should be able to rotate some of our players a lot more than we have been able to. We should be able to rotate Rashford out for Martial on the left. We should be able to rotate right wingers. We should be able to rotate strikers. We should be able to rotate everybody. And we're not really going to be able to press on in all competitions until we can do that at basically every position. Are we preparing this Sergej Milinkovic-Savic as a Pogba replacement? Could be. I think we like the player. I don't know that there's as much interest as it gets touted out there, but that remains to be seen. I was told that his agent has pretty much heavily just been trying to get him out. If it were to be for Declan Rice, I don't know. I think Lingard plus 50 or more would be what it would take, but I still just don't think he'll come in January, so there might have to be a bit of a complicated deal if we want to open that, or it might just be, we sell him to them, and it gets us some goodwill for creation of the deal in the future. Are we preparing Grealish deal so if Snacko falls through, we can pull the trigger on Grealish? Probably. Just to have both options. Does Werder Bremen have interest in buying Chong? I think I just answered this. I believe we will want to loan him again, see if he can continue to develop, and then sell him on. It just makes the most sense. Are we interested in Jules Koundé? I haven't heard anything more about that. We talked about Sergio Ramos. Academy players, I think I haven't heard much, but Williams again on loan is probably likely. Talked about Rice. We talked about January. We talked about Brandon. We talked about loan. Let's see if there's anything else in here I haven't answered. Pedro Goncalves is not being looked at. Would we pursue signings like Milinkovic and Kava? No, I don't think we will. I think that those are signings that we don't actually want. And just a note here from G5 that all of these transfers, they're working on it for summer. I've tried to explain this as well. It's all really being worked on for summer. And then after that, if you can get it done in January, that's great. But pretty much everything is being worked on for summer. If you can move it up, then that's fine. But that's probably not going to happen for most of these deals. I don't think we want another depth signing for center back. I really do think we want a top level one. Does West Ham have any replacements they're looking at? Yeah, they're looking at a few, but again, it's probably for summer. I would say there's always that potential. Backups to Rice, if that doesn't work out. Yeah, the same names we've been talking about for a while are there, and I think there'll be more stuff in the future. Anything about a striker coming in sooner? No, not really. Again, it seems like Haaland is the long-term and short-term kind of goal is by 2022 when his release clause is active to make something happen and make that become a viable deal where we could bring him in, convince him where he wouldn't want a release clause, wouldn't want any of that nonsense, and he could lead the line. In the meantime, developing Greenwood, having Cavani. I mean, if we could bring in Ronaldo for a couple of years, that obviously helps. Those are the types of things I think we would be looking for. Sancho is not necessary. Do you agree, given we have Palestra and Diallo? No, I think he's necessary. I think aside from anything else, we still need someone, and there's no guarantee how it's going to work out for the other players and when they'll be ready. I think we still need a right winger. And answer some questions on Twitter, and then I'll talk with you guys in the chat before ending this off. Will a new CB solve these set piece issues? I don't know, honestly. Yeah, some of them. There are CBs who are better at that don't switch off so much and make those stupid mistakes. So potentially I would say improving our personnel can make a difference there because it's kind of ridiculous. Let's see. Other questions I haven't answered. Mark Overmars becoming director of football for United. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Overmars and Van de Sar are going the same place, sort of a package deal. Bielsa to United, I don't know. That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. What's going on with Caicedo? We talked about that. Sancho wouldn't pay more than 80 plus add-ons. Should we expect any movement in the market that will immediately improve our starting 11? I don't think so. Center back is the closest possibility to that. I think that's the closest possibility to someone that can improve us in the run for the rest of the year. Yeah. I don't think anything concrete on a director of football either. I know over summer that wasn't the case. Yeah. Is there any plans of shifting Rashford to the right permanently and getting Grealish on the left once Pogba leaves? I do think that is an idea. That could happen. I don't think it's what's going to happen, but I think it is an idea that could happen. So, yeah, it could happen. That's what I've got on that. All right, so I think I've answered all the questions that I could. Let's see if there are any other ones. Is Ronaldo interested in coming back? I think there's some interest there, and that's about it. So I don't think it's anything that's been near decided, but a lot to go on a situation like that. Which player do you think is our top target for summer? I still think it's Sancho. All right, any other new questions? Otherwise, I'll be heading off now. It's been a long time with the kind of lost my train of thought with the two streams. Last thing on Anthony Martial, I just do want to discuss. What I get on about is about Anthony Martial being a number 9 or not. And for me, he completely lacks the qualities that make a number 9. So when I talk about him, that's what I'm talking about. That he doesn't fit the qualities of a number 9 that United leave. I think he's a quality player who can play off the left side, and a quality player that can be good as a winger, but he doesn't do anything in the box. He doesn't. He does not stretch the defenders. He does not pull them out of position. He doesn't make the diagonal runs in the box that you want. He doesn't place himself in there. And it's tiring. You see what all his comments were yesterday when asked about it, about, Cavani could have come in there and caused some havoc and move some players around. And I think a striker is one of the most difficult positions on the pitch to play because they do so much more than just score goals. But you have to be able to make quick decisions. You have to be able to shoot off one-touch football, not have to dribble into space and line up a shot. You have to be able to shoot with both feet. You have to be able to move. You have to be able to use your head. And I just want to point out something that's kind of amusing. Romelu Lukaku scored 16 goals and had 7 assists his first season at Manchester United. Anthony Martial last season had 17 goals and 6 assists. They had basically the exact same output at striker. The following season, Manchester United fans labeled Lukaku as, a donkey, terrible touch, not fit, not good enough for United. He had 12 goals in 22 games when he left United. 12 goals in 22 games in the season that we sold him, or that we basically benched him and sold him in the summer, rather. 12 goals in 22 games in the league. Anthony Martial has 2 goals this season, and people are still defending him as a striker. He's not good enough. He doesn't do it. Similar to Romelu Lukaku, they both lack things. And with Lukaku, we're trying to improve his hold-up play, improve his build-up, improve his ability to link with the team and take that next step, and he couldn't do it. But he still had a much better scoring output than Anthony Martial does in his second season, when people were just trashing him as a player. And I just think it's kind of ridiculous. I think that it's the same player FC that protects players like this. But your starting striker having 2 goals in the league in January is bullshit. It's absolutely ridiculous. Lukaku scored against smaller teams. Yeah, that's what we need. We need someone who can score against smaller teams. Exactly. That's great. We need someone who can score against smaller teams. We don't have players who score against smaller teams. Cavani had to do it to save us versus Southampton. Tony doesn't score against anyone. What is his record versus Chelsea? his record in the last City game, in this City game. Where's his goals in big games? He scored a couple of small goals this year. He disappeared in big games. He blew it versus PSG. And I'm not saying Romelu Lukaku's the guy, quite the opposite. I'm saying he's flawed in the same way, in a different way than Martial. They both are not good enough. Wow, okay, last season. Again, I don't care. We're talking about now. 2 games versus City, blanks. PSG blew 2 chances over the bar. It's not good enough. He's not got a good goal-scoring record against top teams. You can't say that he does. And against Sevilla in an important European game, he did exactly what he did versus PSG. Missed opportunity after opportunity in the Europa League semifinals. He's just not good enough. He's just not good enough as a striker. And if he's a player we're going to have to improve. I'm not saying it's the top priority. Getting a right winger in is still key. Fixing up our defensive mistakes is key. But I really don't care what he's done. As a striker, he had a good purple patch after lockdown. Other than that, poor. What you want from a striker is someone who's consistent, who scores in games, who scores regularly, who creates regularly, who does things regularly. He's a good winger. He's a player who plays ball to feet, who dribbles, who can get through the lines, and who can shoot. He's not a good striker. He does not do enough to help you against most teams consistently on a day-to-day basis. It's positioning and movement that make good strikers from bad strikers. And whether they're goal scoring or not, the positioning and the movement open up channels and open up spaces for other players. It takes 5 minutes of watching Cavani to see what he does for the entire team. And it's fine if you disagree, but Ole signed Cavani, and he wanted Haaland last year in January and still wants him for the future. I mean, it's that simple. And the argument of blaming Martial for yesterday is the laziest argument possible. A striker doesn't usually lose you the game. Nobody's arguing that. It's very rare that a striker loses you the game. They don't play in your back line. They're on the opposite side of the pitch. It's very rare for strikers to lose you the game. That's not the argument. The argument isn't whether someone loses you the game. It's where you need improvement. Bruno having an off game is a one-off chance. Rashford has 18 goal contributions for us this year in league or in total. Having an off game and still was much more dangerous. It just doesn't work. We need better. We need better at the number 9 in the number 9 position. Strikers don't lose you games, but they don't necessarily win you games. He had 39 touches yesterday, which is more than he had versus Villa, and needs to do better. But that's all I'm going to say on that. He's not good enough as a striker. Anything else is, I don't know. 2 goals by New Year's not good enough as a striker. That's all I've got. So I'll talk to you guys later in Discord and on Twitter. See you later. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, and all of that for any upcoming live videos, okay? And see you all soon.